I really do like watching documentaries, although I have to admit I don't watch nearly enough of them. But needless to say, I am the target audience for a movie about John Elway. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, click on the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post new content. If you can't tell from the headgear that I'm currently wearing, or the headwear, I am a huge Denver Broncos fan. I wear Broncos hats and shirts. I have a Bo Nix jersey. They're actually playing today, if you're watching this video on the day it releases, which is Saturday, the 17th of January, 2026. They play the Bills, so my entire day is going to be determined by what happens in this playoff game, which kicks off at about 1:30 Pacific time. So I'm like huge just sports guy, all Colorado sports. As a kid, grew up watching the Broncos. I was really fortunate to go to plenty of games in Denver, mostly when they were at the old Mile High. I went to what's considered one of the best Monday Night Football games, if not the best Monday Night Football game ever played. It was Broncos Chiefs in Denver. This was when Joe Montana was now the Chiefs quarterback. Broncos had a big drive at the end to take the lead. And then in the last minute, Montana drove them down, threw a touchdown in the front right corner of the end zone, which I remember. I remember where we were sitting, and it was amazing. So have always just loved the team. Loved when they won their back-to-back Super Bowls finally, and obviously watched Super Bowl 50 back in 2015 when they beat the Panthers. And I was really excited to see that there's just this hour and a half long documentary about John Elway. While of course, I grew up watching the team, some of the stuff about his childhood and what happened specifically with the Colts and him going to Stanford, this movie covers all of that. It really does cover a lot of ground. There's a lot of things that kind of surprised me about it that I didn't know, despite being a Broncos fan. It's fairly well known that he was drafted by the Baltimore Colts, and he basically said, I told you not to draft me. I'm not going to play there. And then he almost got traded to the Redskins, and then he got traded to the Broncos and was there for his entire career. Really struggled when it came to the big game. Got to 3 or 4 Super Bowls, lost every one of them, got blown out, destroyed in all of them, and then finally got back there kind of at the twilight of his career. The question was, can John Elway win a Super Bowl, or is he going to go the way of Dan Marino and be this tremendously talented quarterback who never actually wins the big game? Fortunately, he obviously did in his last 2 seasons. It's really exciting to see some interviews with former teammates, Coach Gary Kubiak. If you're a Broncos fan, this is a must-watch about probably the best Bronco to ever play the game. But even if you're just a casual football fan, or if you're just a fan of any NFL team, this really is a great movie. It captures a very specific era of 80s and 90s NFL football. And I think that's really exciting. The game has changed so much since then. Some of the hits that guys were taking back then, or the game was just simply allowed to be way more physical. Guys getting shoved out of bounds. It was just the best. So it captures that era really well, and teaches us kind of a lot about a player who at the time was so really hyped coming out of college. Probably one of the, if not the most hyped athlete to play professional football prior to getting there. And then of course, the papers covering his first really difficult game, which it wasn't against the Colts, but the first game he ever played, where he just wasn't I think it was against the Steelers, and he's lined up across from Jack Lambert and all these guys who were just these mega juggernauts on the Steel Curtain defense. So the movie covers a lot of ground, and it's just one of those really, really great documentaries. And it's easy. It's an hour and a half. You're not getting into multiple episodes. You just got this one thing, and it's kind of perfect. So if you like football, check out Elway. If you like the Broncos, what are you doing? Definitely check it out. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully the Broncos win today. Although I do like the Bills and Josh Allen, but go Broncos. I'll see you next Saturday at 9 a.m.